Your self-contained breathing apparatus is designed to provide you with years of dependable service. To get the maximum use and safety benefits, you need to learn and follow correct procedures for donning, doffing, operating, inspecting, and changing your SCBA. In this program, you will learn SCBA basics that relate to using and maintaining this important equipment. The training objectives for this program are 1. To demonstrate donning and doffing techniques for SCBA while wearing protective clothing. 2. To describe the inspection and care procedures for protective breathing apparatus. 3. To demonstrate how to change cylinders at an emergency scene. And 4. To present safety precautions and rules for SCBA use during an emergency situation. There are several ways that you can put on your SCBA, including the over-the-head method, the coat method, and the bracket mount method. The first method is the over-the-head donning method. Always check out the unit before you put it on. Check the cylinder gauge to make sure that the air cylinder is full. Open the cylinder valve slowly and listen for the alarm as the system starts to pressurize. Then, open the cylinder valve fully. If the alarm sounds but does not stop, place the unit out of service by tagging it and notifying an officer. Check the regulator gauge. Both the cylinder and regulator gauges should register within 100 psi of each other if increments are psi rated, when the cylinder is pressurized to its rated capacity. Next, spread the harness straps out on each side. Make sure that the cylinder valve is pointed away from you. There should be no straps between your hands. Now, grasp the back plate or cylinder with both hands, one at each side. Lift the cylinder and let the regulator and harness hang freely. Raise the cylinder overhead and let your elbows find the loosened harness shoulder strap loops. Keeping your elbows close to your body, tuck your chin and grasp the shoulder straps as the SCBA begins to slide down your back. Let the straps slide through your hands as the backpack lowers into place. Lean forward and fasten the chest buckle if the unit has a chest strap. Continue to lean forward and partially tighten the shoulder straps by pulling them outward and downward. Fasten and adjust the waist strap until the unit fits snugly. And finally, don the facepiece. One convenient feature of SCBA is that it can be donned like a coat, putting one arm at a time through the shoulder strap loops. As always, follow the safety checkout procedures that you just saw for the over-the-head method. Then, spread the straps out to the side and position the upper portion of the straps over the top of the back plate. Lift the unit and swing it around your left shoulder and onto your back. Both hands should still be grasping the strap. Lean forward and fasten the chest buckle if the unit has a chest strap. Continue leaning forward and tighten the shoulder straps by pulling them outward and downward. Fasten and adjust the waist strap until the unit fits snugly. Recheck all straps to see that they are correctly adjusted. And then, finally, don the facepiece. The SCBA can be stored in a mounted position for easy donning. The mounted bracket may be in the seat, on the side or rear of the vehicle, or in a closed compartment. The backup mount provides quick access to the SCBA. The procedures for donning SCBA using the mounted bracket method are as follows. Back up against the cylinder backplate and place your arms through the shoulder straps and buckle the chest strap. Lean forward and pull the unit from the mount. Adjust the straps if necessary. Fasten and adjust the waist strap until the unit fits snugly. Then, don the facepiece. The facepieces for most SCBAs are donned in much the same manner. The only significant differences between facepieces are the number of straps and the location of the regulator. Using the harness-mounted regulator, Here's how to don your facepiece. Pull your protective hood back and down so that the face opening is around your neck. Turn up the collar on your turnout coat. If the harness you're using is a web type, grasp the harness with your thumbs through the straps from the inside and spread the straps apart. Push the top of the harness up your forehead to move away any hair that may have fallen between your forehead and the sealing surface of the facepiece. Position the harness so that it's centered at the back of your head. Tighten the harness straps by pulling them evenly to the rear. Tighten the lower straps first, then the temple straps, and lastly the top strap if there is one. Check your facepiece seal. Breathe out deeply. Seal the end of the low-pressure hose with your bare hand and breathe in slowly. Hold your breath. This allows the facepiece to collapse tightly against your face. To check the exhalation valve, breathe in and then breathe out. The exhalation valve should activate. To put your helmet on, first place the low-pressure hose through your helmet chin strap. The helmet should rest on your shoulder until the SCBA is completely donned. Connect the low-pressure hose to the regulator. If your unit has a donning switch, then turn it to the pressure, use, or on position. If it doesn't, open the mainline valve on your unit. Check for positive pressure. You can gently break the facepiece seal by simply putting 2 fingers under the edge of the facepiece. You should feel air moving past your fingers. Pull your protective hood into place. Cover all exposed skin and make sure that your vision is not obscured. And finally, put the helmet on your head and tighten the chin strap. Donning a facepiece with a facepiece mounted regulator is very similar to donning the harness mounted regulator facepiece. Pull your hood back. Grasp the harness and spread the straps apart. Push your hair back with the harness. Tighten the harness straps. Check the regulator gasket to be sure it is in place. If the regulator is separate from the facepiece, attach it and lock it in place. Check the facepiece seal. Check the exhalation valve. Check for positive pressure. Pull your hood in place and then put on your helmet. If you're using a different type of facepiece assembly, refer to the manufacturer's instructions for proper facepiece donning procedures. Doffing, or taking your equipment off, should only be done when you know that the atmosphere is safe. Removing SCBA that has a harness-mounted regulator is a quick, easy process. Close the mainline valve and disconnect the low-pressure hose from the regulator. Take off your helmet, or at least push it and your hood back off of your head. Loosen the harness strap buckles on your facepiece before you take it off. Unbuckle the waist belt and extend the adjustment as far as possible. Leaning slightly forward, release the shoulder strap buckles and hold them open while extending the straps. Get a firm grip on the shoulder straps and carefully remove the regulator and lower the SCBA to the ground. Close the cylinder valve and relieve any extra pressure from the regulator using the mainline valve or donning switch. Doffing a facepiece with a facepiece mounted regulator is very similar. As you remove different parts of your SCBA, you should prepare each of them for inspection, cleaning, sanitizing, and storage. The only way you can know that your SCBA will protect you properly is if you make sure that it's inspected and maintained before and after every use. Here are some key things to look for when you inspect SCBA. The cylinder should be at least 90% full. The hose connection should be tight and not damaged. Check for leaks. The gauges should work properly. Check that the mainline and bypass valves are working properly. After checking the bypass valve, make sure that it's fully closed. The low pressure alarm should work correctly. Be sure that the harness is in good shape and the straps are fully extended. Check the facepiece to be sure it is clean and in good condition. Breathing apparatus should be cleaned and sanitized after every use. You'll appreciate a clean unit, and so will the next firefighter. Besides, moving parts that are not clean may not work properly. At intervals recommended by the manufacturer, take the SCBA out of service and thoroughly check the valves, pressure regulator, gauges, harness, and facepiece. The regulator should be tested annually according to the manufacturer's specifications. Every 5 years, the regulator should be rebuilt by a manufacturer-certified technician. Each cylinder must be labeled with its date of manufacture as well as the date of its last hydrostatic test. Steel and aluminum cylinders must be tested every 5 years, and composite cylinders every 3 years. Always empty a cylinder completely before you send it back for servicing and testing. You need to know how to change a cylinder at the scene, so your SCBA can be put back into productive use immediately with little or no downtime. Here's how it's done with 2 people changing the cylinder. Keep the SCBA on your back. Close the mainline valve or place the donning switch into the don mode. Remove the regulator from the facepiece. Close the cylinder valve. Place your hands on your knees. The second firefighter unclasps the used cylinder and removes it. He inserts the charged cylinder and aligns the valve with the high-pressure hose. He checks the high-pressure hose for debris and checks the O-ring. He connects the high-pressure hose to the cylinder and then clamps the cylinder into the backpack. He opens the cylinder valve. After you don your facepiece, you're ready to go back to work. If you need to change a cylinder yourself, here are the steps for a one-person change. Doff the unit and fully extend the straps. Disconnect the regulator from the facepiece. Close the cylinder valve. Bleed the unit with the mainline valve or use the donning switch. Disconnect the high-pressure hose. Release the clamp and remove the cylinder. Insert a charged cylinder and align the valve with the high-pressure hose. Check the high-pressure hose for debris and check the O-ring. Connect the high-pressure hose to the cylinder. Clamp the cylinder into the backpack and open the cylinder valve. Don the unit and your facepiece. There are several safety precautions and rules that you must remember to follow when using SCBA. Firefighting is one of the most strenuous, demanding jobs you can possibly do. Your turnout gear is heavy just by itself. When you add an SCBA, you will be carrying another 35 pounds, which means that in order to work, you need to be in great shape. Physical conditioning is as important as your equipment and technical training. Every firefighter must be certified by a physician as being physically fit for SCBA use before using protective breathing apparatus. Your department should have a respiratory protection program that addresses selection, inspection, and maintenance of SCBA. This program must also include annual fit testing for every department member who uses SCBA. Wait a while before using a breathing apparatus if you've just finished doing heavy, strenuous work. Realize that your supply of airflow will vary according to any number of factors and limitations. Know your own limitations. Make sure that the mainline valve is not only open, but locked. Use the bypass valve only in emergencies. And if you have to use the bypass valve, close the mainline valve immediately. Once in a contaminated area, do not remove your SCBA under any circumstances. Clear visibility does not ensure that the air is safe. When using SCBA, it's important to work in teams of 2 or more. The buddy system increases everybody's chances for a safe and efficient attack. Remember, your protective breathing apparatus is not a perfect tool. Malfunctions, even after inspection and proper care, can occur. If you find yourself in an SCBA emergency situation, don't panic. Immediately activate your Personal Alert Safety System, or PASS, and move out of the hazardous atmosphere as quickly as possible. Maintain control. Control your breathing so you can save valuable air. Next, stop and think. How did you get to where you are? Downstairs or up some stairs? Left turns or right turns? Where possible, follow your hose line back to safety. And listen. Can you hear sounds from other personnel, hoses, or equipment? Find a wall and crawl along it in one direction only. Use all left-hand or all right-hand turns. If possible, break a window or breach a wall to escape. In this program, you've seen many important aspects of SCBA use and maintenance. You've seen how to don and doff your SCBA. You've seen how to inspect and care for the equipment. You've seen how to change a cylinder at an emergency scene. And you've been exposed to safety precautions and rules to use with your SCBA. Your breathing apparatus is designed to safely see you through hundreds of calls in all types of atmospheres. Make the most of this safety equipment by using and maintaining it in the best possible way. Remember, this is not just another piece of gear, it's a lifeline.